Hello, this is the seventh writing log, and we are just doing some final tweaks on the song. We wrapped it up yesterday. We got a mastering chain on there. Let me go and pop up the mixer. We got our mastering chain on there. So I just kind of let it settle for the night, listen to it. There's just a few things I want to touch up. But overall, I think we're in a really solid position for it. I like this one. I'm having fun with it. So, one of the things, let's just start at the start. So, intro here. So, I'm just still not completely in love with that piano, and I can go to the other grand that I have lined up, but I was considering if I were to take this and we paste it down on that harp, which, like I said, I usually use the harp. I actually really enjoy it, and I was like, this might be a good moment to let it shine in the beginning. I think I'm gonna bring. Well, shoot. I was gonna say I was gonna bring that one up. I mean, I suppose I still can. Maybe just the one. Unless that was the note for that one, which it could have been. In which case, this would make more sense. I will say, I do like some of the piano, the higher end piano I was enjoying. Maybe it's really this part that's irking me. So with that part highlighted, let me highlight the one down here. I know, I'm picking polar opposite sides of the project to work on. You know what? Something else I was thinking about was doing a half as long intro. Well, if we're considering that, let me consider this with it. So let's take this off. I think that's reasonable. And then cello. Yeah, I think we're going to roll with the halftime intro, which is kind of crazy. And since it goes down and hits the low, I'm trying to figure out now, just for my own clarification, why is this so low? Might have been a mistake I caught. Just trying to figure out what. Not sure why that's like that. I'm gonna try to move it up for the time being. Finding out new issues in the last second. It does that the entire time, I bet. Just make sure we're lining up correctly. Looks like it. Yeah, because in my head, I was imagining playing it like boom, ba da da da. So it's like you're grabbing the bass and then just doing a handful as you walk down. And you have the melody on the other hand doing doon 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 doon. So it's boom doon 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 doon. I can't sing it all at once, but that was the concept that I was going for. So not sure what purpose it serves having this down low. I'm thinking this is just something that was missed before. I'm glad I was able to go back and touch it up. Funky. And I really like the piano right here. I really like that part. But let's take this down. Like around there. So same dynamics. Sound. Let's adjust these. Now, let's say I were to move these just a little bit. That's more the range that I was looking for. Let me bring these down and I'm going to layer it up. Maybe we're not doing as realistic of a harp part. I'm not such a fan of that like texture. I like that sound though. So with these, I like that kind of range. I think up here would be just a little ridiculous. And since this is the only thing that this middle part is coming through on, I'm thinking that would mean it has a little more room to double up. And for a harpist, I don't know if that would be difficult to double up the octave or if that would be pretty manageable. Just doom, bum, 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 boom, bum, 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 bum. Never actually played a harp. I imagine it's, I mean, it can't have crazy chromatic stuff. It could. I don't know. I never played a harp. Okay. Now let's jump down to the harp. Let's go ahead, throw an EQ on there. We're gonna do a little catch up. If I took off that low note, off the low note, I'd be in much more reasonable pocket. Is that worth it though? Ooh, did it again. Well, that just sold it for me. I'm gonna say this one has a decent amount of high-end content. And to be fair, let me take off our mastering chain. A little bit of goofiness going on there. A little more funniness just right there. Nothing too crazy. And then this, I mean, I'm not hearing a whole lot. For some reason, I felt like the... even with that much, I'm hearing a big change. I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and leave it alone. Throw a comp on there. We're looking at... The dynamics are also pretty heavy on this one. Let's just see. Okay. Let's just say where to take these out. It's all hitting that way lower register. A little bit of honkiness in there I'm even trying to get rid of. Let's send the reverb buzz too. Let's give it... I feel like that's a lot. Okay. Now here's another thing I wanted to hit, is I feel like the violins come in a little heavy-handed about to that chorus. What I was thinking is we would try to do the dynamics. I was thinking just an overall volume automation. I think I'm gonna stick with that. Could see an argument for doing the dynamics, but I really didn't feel like it was hitting too hard. I think just for the mix, the balance was a little off. And which is ironic too, because I feel like up until what would be the first chorus? I would say until like the second chorus, I wouldn't mind if the volume was just a hair louder across the board, and then I feel like the rest was fine. I think it was loud enough. But in this case, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just drop it just a little bit. And for this one, I think the best way to do this is gonna be to that's like that's pretty significant. Let's just see how overwhelming would it get. I feel like that sounds pretty reasonable. This one's more of a slow burn, where it's going to get there, but it feels more natural. This the second violin is a slow burn. The first one, I almost feel like the parts are flip flop. That first one is going to be coming in much faster. And I was kind of hoping for more of a jump on the chorus, but that's okay. It's just the first chorus. It's hitting well. The notes are there. I have plenty of explosions and stuff for the later ones. Let's say for now this problem is solved. And another reason that the volume automation might be better for this one is because I imagine this is like a fader control. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I hope someone corrects me or find out at some point. But I see this as like a fader correction. Like, okay, like the fader's going down, then it's up. Whereas if I do the dynamics, it's gonna change the way that it's hitting in the EQ and the compression. Now, I'm not positive how much of an impact that would be, but that is like you're deciding like, do I pull it at the end or do I pull it in the beginning? And both are viable in different situations. All right. So let's say that it's closed for now. Now we're gonna go and we're gonna open up our main bus. I was thinking about not even doing the reverb and letting it be a little reverb heavy in the beginning. We'll try that, and if not, I'll just match it so it's like the whole track is moving in that direction. And let's listen back to the way the violins come in with that going. I think this could even be dropped just a little bit. Boost this. I feel like that would cause a problem because now I'm actually losing a little reverb. Let's give it a shot. Let's see how we like it. We might not. And if that's the case, just go back to where we were. And we're going to need a little better room. See how hard it snaps when it hits chorus B. I have a feeling this is going to be a problem, but I was playing with one thing that is different. This is the first time I got busted with this. I was playing with the idea of doing the tempo instead of at 110, doing at 108. Dang, I didn't even realize I was already on there. Must have happened. I must have been playing that right before I did the V5, the save as. Dang, didn't mean to do that here. That is a difference, and just to show what the reference is. So if I take it back, I mean, as if we haven't heard it 1,000 times so far. So now we got the 110 in there. Oh, it's bouncing back to 108. Why are you doing that to me? So this is 110. This is 108, and I played around like 105. I was just trying to see if it's a viable solution. Because I felt like it was a little rushed. It like felt like the notes weren't hitting quite as hard. So I just tried it at 108, and I feel like that's a good medium where it's a little slower. It's not super noticeable, but it does, I feel like, give it a little more breathing room. Do a quick camera check. Camera's rolling. Now that we got that through, let's hear the transition out of the volume automation. thing is let's see about the choruses, see which one is louder, because we want the chorus B, we want it to be slightly louder. I think we want it to kind of progress into chorus C, which would be the loudest. So we can say it's like around 13. And we can see this one's around 12. And my guess is this one would probably be the 11. It's doing it again. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Back to that error. But now I watched back from yesterday and I realized it is not the bass drum that's failing me. It is the cymbal. That's a bridge. I think it's this thing right here. It's causing me all of this trouble. And I don't really know why. I'm going to put it just a hair after. We're going to see if that solves it. I guess it solves it for now. We'll see the next time that happens. But anyway, so we're going to go back. We're going to see and just really try to notice if there's a really discernible difference where it changes, and then maybe try to modulate that, because I don't really want it to feel like it's ramping up or ramping down into that chorus. But it is possible, especially with this little... Not mad at that. I'm not hearing a crazy difference. I think I can live with that. And we're lining up on the choruses, pretty much the volume we want. Of course, since the main instrument bus is dropping at the second chorus, that's going to be where the reverb bus, because it's not automated, should be a little bit more like potent in the mix, which is perfect because I like the reverb on the bridge. And then the chorus is going to have the same with the added percussion, which is great because I want that percussion to have like a little bit more of the spotlight for that little area. And not because the cymbal's failing on me. And then just that one last stinger note to give it some resolution and get out of there. Love it. Okay, so I'm happy with this instrument modulation. I'm deciding if I'm happy with this. I will say at least it's true to form as far as the riff goes. That was the exact riff that I started off with. So that I do like, whether it's the piano timbre that I'm into or not. And I really don't mind it when it takes it over, but I think having having the harp do it. Maybe in a different instrument would have been a better choice to do the other part. I don't know. I'm not too mad at it though. I think it's better. It's definitely an improvement. I just gotta see whether I want to settle on that. And of course, the song is moved. So let's take everything we got here. And I'm just doing this so I always have the same amount of bars in the start. I see where I could make that edit. The 110 to, let's see here. Or you just, this is how it wants me to do it. We got everything. So let's go ahead and drag it over. Now we're at our 1-1, but the problem's going to be everything else is that far off. And I don't believe you can click on multiple of these. Oh, maybe you can. We're learning something new together. And not really. That's okay. Really don't have that many markers. So let's say, getting to the end. That works. I like having a little bit of room before the first notes hits. That even might be too much. That way it's like you hit play and there's a moment before it's just boom in there. Then I also feel like sometimes when you do it on different players, like if I go on like Google Player is really bad about it, where they'll cut the intro, or even if I use like VLC with like just some file on my phone, something like that, like they'll cut the beginning really bad. Or if you like iMessage it to someone, there's issues with that, and just some other random stuff. So just that little bit of breathing room just means that the first note won't get cut off so hard, and it really doesn't, I mean, unless someone specifically is like, absolutely don't do that, I just feel like it gives it a little bit more of something. And we're looking at 209, which is reasonable. just want a final LUFS reading. Something that I was considering was how hard it's going to be pushed into the maximizer on the within the Ozone plugin. I think that oboe part probably sounds better, faster, but overall there's a lot more gain from the drop than there's loss from it. So it's not really hitting towards the end, but I felt like it was hitting on the other chorus. Interesting, interesting. Let's just pop these open real quick. I see the problem. Oh, jeez. So I think when I shifted everything over, that volume automation did not shift with it. That one had MIDI attached, so that one did just fine. Same thing here. Yeah, the instrument bus did not have a point of reference. At this point, I'm just trying to give it a couple listens. I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything else that I would like to have changed before we, you know, finish it. We put it into the portfolio. I just noticed another problem with this. What are you doing there? Oh, fuck. My bad. I just realized what those are doing there and why it's like that. It is a time signature change. You just took off the set tempo. Don't set tempo to anything. Leave the tempo alone. Did not notice that before. 108, let's go. That was another problem. Just have more different note. There's no point to do on the instrument bus. It's the reverb bus doing that. I think that's reasonable. Let's do another gander here. Let's double up that harp and just see what happens. Cello comes in, the harp goes out. Like these are working with variable success. Interesting. Okay. What time are we something about this sticking out in a weird way. Sounds like something's getting choked. Let's use the 2A on this one. We'll see if that gives it less of like a choke sound and more a little expansion. What I did is I just put on a compressor. It's like not the craziest fast compressor. It's more for like an overall, and I'm hoping I can catch a little bit more of the other stuff. So we did a little bit of gain and we did a little bit of compression, but I don't know. I'm gonna play it back from the start one more time, and we'll just see how it's feeling. Maybe it's something with the what do you call it now? something to do with, and I even know where the button is to fix it, the phase. Maybe I'm hitting something funny just at the right time and it's causing some cancellation. Totally hit the wrong button there. And another one. Yeah, we're gonna undo the nudge for sure. I feel like that's sounding a little more robust, like what we're looking for. And as long as that's not a problem, I think we're good to render this guy. We can do the full-fledged thing here. Put V2 for this one. Primaries MP3, or you know what I mean. We're doing 48 because we're hoping it makes it to the screen sometime. Yeah, wave. We're doing time selection. And going to do let's just browse real quick. We'll go demo portfolio, time after time, and we'll save it right there. Let's see what our waveform looks like. Increase and we should be close by the close B. Drop into that thing like crazy. That's interesting, but under the set of voices, will be louder than there's our stinger right there. Let's give it a listen. Really want to hear if that impact, the kick or whatever it is, failed me. The brass is really what does it there. Well, I think it's alright. Let's let the brass shine through. All right, I like that one. That dang tube bells, the last thing holding on at the end. All right, I think we are good to go on this one. We're looking at just a little over an hour. And the next step for this one is literally just drop it in the portfolio, and I'll be using this to try to get scoring work. But this one's been a fun one. This one was came out a little quieter than I thought. It's funny. The integrated luster 13.2. We probably could do a little more than that, but I mean, I think it sounds fine. I'm happy with it. But yeah, and this one's good to go. I think I'm gonna try to do the video project one next. But yeah, it's been cool. Thanks for sticking around and checking it out. So, peace.